What's up, guys? It's Dubzz, and I haven't said that for a really long time. It's been like 4 years since I made a video, and this is gonna be weird. I don't know how. I don't know how I'm gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna be awkward. Probably, yeah. I always was. But this video, I've been wanting to make it. I've been putting it off. You probably hear my cats. You probably hear kids outside screaming in my apartment complex. But I want to make this video about the new movie that's coming out, the new It remake, reboot, new movie, whatever you want to call it. Because I don't want to say it's a remake because they're putting it in 1985 instead of the kids in 1958. And then, instead of going from 1958 to 1985, they're going from 1985 to, I think, 2013. But I do like that they're splitting it into, two parts, because I didn't like that about the original one, that felt they put way too much and they left out so much stuff. But in this video, I want to talk about stuff that I want to see in the movie and stuff that I can put money on that we're not going to see, because that book is, yeah, Stephen King. Some of the stuff was very, yeah, so I'll start with the stuff that I want to see. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I don't know. I'm not really going in order of the book. I just laid down and thought of stuff, and I wrote it down as it came to my head. So I'll probably jump all over this page. So stuff I want to see. This one is in the beginning. I want to see Georgie getting his arm ripped off, because it didn't show him die. It just showed him, in the original one, just showed him look at Pennywise, and Pennywise open his mouth and growl, and you guys know. But in the book, he rips his arm off at the socket. We feel Georgie's pain. Such an intense scene just from the get-go. But yeah, I hope we see that. And another, like, this is completely random, and I already know we're not going to see it because we have the trailer. I wanted Bill to have red hair, like in the book, like, because him and Beverly have the same hair, the same color hair, but they gave him blonde hair again, which is, okay, but it's whatever. They had to do the same thing with Harry Potter. They didn't give Harry his green eyes like his mom. They gave him brown eyes. But all right, I'm not gonna do any cuts. I'm just gonna go because I don't really feel like editing. And what I want to see, one thing I want to see that I know we're not gonna see, it's gonna sound weird that I want to see it, is Henry the bully and Patrick Hockstetter, another bully that we never saw. We see him in like the new trailer in one of the pictures from Missing Kids. There's a scene in the book where Beverly goes off to practice with the slingshot, and she thinks she hears, the losers playing, but it ends up being Henry and all his friends, and they're lighting farts on fire. And then everyone leaves except for Henry and Patrick. And for some reason, I don't know why it happened, but Patrick started jerking off Henry. Like, yeah, jerking him off. It sounds weird that, I'd want to see that, but it was such a, I don't want to say pivotal point in the story, but it was a very important and, weird. I would love to see that. They don't have to show like their fucking, penises and stuff, but just that's happening, like maybe from the back or something. But when that happened in the book, it had me dying. I love that part. It was just so funny, because you see the bullies as so tough and, badass, I guess, but they're like, Henry doesn't even really know what's going on. Like, he doesn't even realize that a dude's jerking him off until like he's done. Anyway, I also want to see Beverly and Tom. Well, we're not gonna see that in this one, but I want to see when they're older and when they fight, when she says she has to leave. In the first one, it just shows, him smack her because he just got her a huge opportunity at the job, and then they fight for a little bit, and then she throws a bottle of like lotion at him and he gets knocked out. But in this, it's so intense. He's messed up. His lips are busted. His teeth are broken. Her lips are busted. She ripped off her fingernails, flipping a dresser on him. I just want to see how intense that is, and I know we won't, because we won't see it to that extent. Because I guess that would be spousal abuse, and I don't know if people want to see that, but I hope they do it. And then, what's next? Of course, I want to see the turtle. If you've read the book, if you know anything about it, you know that there's a huge turtle who's the opposite of Pennywise, or it. He's the destroyer, and Cosmic Turtle's the life giver. He's the creator. So I would love, would be hard to do it justice. Because whenever I think of the Cosmic Turtle, I think of that huge turtle in like the last episode of The Last Airbender when he was fighting whatever his name was, and that huge turtle comes up and he's like has the whole world on his back. I would love to see that. This is just jumping all over the place. And at the end of the book, when they're young, I think it's when they're old, they fight. They do the ritual of should. They fight the Pennywise, and all the standpipe, this huge like water tower, I would say, falls and floods and takes out like the entire town, and like just destroys everything. I would love for that to be in there. I know they're going to show the town being destroyed, but I want to see the standpipe flipping through the air like it does in the book. And I want whoever the guy is that sees it, I forget his name, he's smoking weed up there, sees it all happen. I want to. They have so much source material to do this movie so good. I hope we get it. But I want them to, because I know before it was really, I don't want to say controversial, but no one said the N-word in movies. And I think it got really big. No, I don't want to say big, but when Django came out, and that movie had the N-word, every other line was the N-word, and there was a whole scene in that movie just people saying the N-word. But I want them, because Mike, the black kid, he gets so messed with. Everyone calls him, the N-word, and it's pretty rough. But I want them to do that just so it's, do it justice. I don't want them to cut anything that they don't need to cut. I want to see the fire at the black spot. And from the trailer, we get to see it. We get to see Mike. And you kind of see like the hands trying to get out of the door. And if you don't know what the black spot is, it was a club that a bunch of privates in the army that were on the base in Derry or wherever it was. They couldn't go to the white bars, and so they just found a shed and turned it into a little club, and somehow it blew up to everyone wanted to be there, and there was a jazz band, and everyone was there. But then one day, the White Legion of Decency went and burnt it down with everybody inside. So many people died. I want that. I want to see it. Not Mike seeing the hands. I want to actually have them like flash back to those people, like, because Mike's dad was there. I want them to show that. I want them to show them building it and them getting killed. That would be, so awesome. The same along those lines, I also want to see, because at the end of every cycle, the 27-year cycle, there's a huge accident or a huge, mass murder that happens, and that was one. And the other one was the Kitchener Ironworks exploding, where it was Easter Sunday, and the ironworks exploded, killing like 100 kids or something. Like I think it was like 57 kids, maybe 100. I don't know. I don't remember the number, but 1 second, I gotta pause it. All right, I'm back. Sorry. All right, I was talking about the Kitchener Ironworks explosion, but yeah, that was on Easter Sunday. Hella people died. A bunch of mostly all kids, because they were looking for Easter eggs. And then also along those lines, the farthest one back that they talk about was, I forget what the gang was called. They shot up. There was a gang of robbers that were riding through the town, or who came from a different town, and they were hiding out there, thinking it was a small town and they would be able to lay low, not get caught. But everyone knew who they were, and they killed them all. Like the police, people, everyone, and they never talked about it. Just went away. But I wanted them to show that. Maybe like a small flashback. We'll probably see it I think we'll see it in this first one. I don't think they would show it in the second one. But yeah, what else do I want to see? I want to see, because I really disliked, I don't know that I think about it, I think they did it in the older part. When they're older, the ritual of should, but they didn't do it justice. All they did was have Bill lock eyes with him, and then Beverly shot a rock into his chest and killed it for some reason. I don't know how that happened, but Capri Sun. But in the book, it happened when they were young and when they were old. They did the ritual of should. The first time Bill did it by himself, and that's where, I'll do it real quick. I think it's like Indians came up with it or something. You lock eyes and you get like pulled into whatever dimension that the being is in, and then you lock tongues with them. And then telepathically through your guys' heads, you just talk crap to each other. They said you tell each other jokes, but they don't really do that. They do that when they're older, because when they go in when they're older, Bill and Richie go in, and Richie just says a bunch of dumb stuff until it can't take it anymore. But when Bill goes, he just goes on about his brother and doesn't really tell him any jokes, and he wins. But I want them to show that, and I want them to do justice to what he looks like, what it looks like in its natural form or his real form as the spider. They kind of did a good job in the the new one, or I mean in the old one, how it looked weird. It was like a praying mantis spider thing. But I hope it looks good. I'm sure they'll show it. What else? A lot of these are when they're older. I'll talk about it. I want to see when, after Beverly leaves, and Tom's all beat up, and he's trying to find out where Beverly went because she didn't come back like he thought she would. Because he's one of those guys who thinks that he owns his wife. He beats up her best friend, Kay McCall, or I think that's her name. Beats her up to get her to tell where she went. Beat the crap out of her, busted her lips. Like, I know we might see that, probably won't. Because again, it's him beating up a lady. We might see him slap her up a bit, but not to the extent of in the book, where he was, beating the shit out of her. Yeah, that was Tom Rogan. I hate that guy. I'm glad he died. I'm glad they didn't save him, and I'm glad they saved, what's his wife's name? Audra. But stuff we won't see. The gay scene. I'll leave this one for the last, because this we absolutely will not see to the extent that it is in the book. I don't know how they're going to do it, but so the gay scene, Kay and Beverly getting beat up, we probably won't see that, but we might. The day and age we live in, they're putting a lot of stuff in movies. Who cares? The Cosmic Turtle, we might hear about it, we might see a glimpse, but we won't see, the whole thing with the, throwing up galaxies, throwing up universes, being awesome. And we probably won't see the Kitchener Ironworks explosion because it was mostly kids. We might see the black spot, because it was adults. But I don't think we'll see the Kitchener Ironworks. And if we do, it'll probably only show the adults dying, or it'll just show the explosion and not anybody actually dying. And one thing I know for a fact, if they show it, I'll give them a round of applause. If they get away with showing it, at the very end, when they're kids, after they beat it and they think they killed it, they're heading out and they're lost. And for some reason, Beverly gets this idea that she needs to have sex with all of them, so they can link up in their brains to find their way out. I listened to the book twice in a row, and I still don't know. She talks about her dad, because her dad thought she wasn't pure or whatever. He wanted to make sure she was intact, and so she was thinking about that. And for some reason, she got that idea. So she one by one lets these dudes, 11-year-olds, one of them might be 12. I think they're all 11. One by one, have sex with her in the dark, in this tunnel. So I think it was Eddie first, and then Richie, Mike, Stan, Ben, and then Bill. I think Bill's the last one. But all of them have sex with her, and then she's a virgin, and they leave, and they find their way out somehow. Ooh, excuse me. But I know for a fact we won't see that, because when I was reading that, I was like, I feel uncomfortable reading this, kind of, because it's kids, having sex. It's weird. And I know they won't show it, because that would be illegal, right? Child pornography, to a certain extent. It's a dark scene, so maybe I don't know what they'll do, but those are some of the things that I want to see, and some stuff I know we won't see. But so far with the trailer and how Pennywise looks, and I think they nailed each of those kids. Maybe except for, like I said, Bill's hair, but I think they're all good. And that new trailer they put out on the MTV Movie Awards, they dropped a little bit earlier, where they're going down to the tunnel and listening to Richie and Eddie talk to each other, and hearing Richie do his, we don't need no stinking batches, his, Hispanic Pancho Vanilla voice. That's what it was. Hearing him do that, I'm excited. I'm glad they're, actually doing stuff. And at first I didn't know if, Mike from Stranger Things would be able to be a funny character, because Richie's the funniest person in the group. That's how, he's the comedian. and I'm excited. I think Mike is gonna do a great job. I know it's not his name. I know his name's Finn like Wolfward or something. But other than that, I think all the kids look spot on. The one thing that they didn't do with the original one, and they didn't do with this one, is to make Pennywise. I know they didn't do it because you wouldn't really be able to have emotions if they did this. Pennywise is supposed to have just eye sockets with like shining like silver lights in the back. If you can picture that. Just eye sockets with like a star in the back. No eyes. So imagine how scary that would be. But I know they had to give him eyeballs so he can, express emotions. Like in the trailers, you see him looking at him all evil, and I wonder if they're making this Pennywise funny, or if they're just gonna make him all dark. There's so much stuff I'm excited for with this new movie, and if you guys want to hear any more, probably, I'm thinking about doing a lot more videos like this, because if you guys are watching this, because all this stuff's coming out, and you see my old videos, I did a lot of commentaries, and I wanted to use a webcam, but I don't think I'm going to, and my computer's pretty crappy right now, so I think I'm gonna do movie reviews like this. Put a picture, or put like a screen, like a slideshow of pictures. Maybe I can record some gameplay of something and have it in the background. I don't know. This will be my first video in like 5 years and 4 years, so don't be too hard on me. And if you guys are watching this and you were a subscriber from 4 years ago, oh my god, you're the man. But I don't want this to go on for 20 minutes, so I will end it here. And it's going to be pretty bad probably, because I'm not going to edit anything. I'm just going to probably cut the beginning, maybe cut out when I come back, and I'm gonna have, I don't know what pictures it's gonna be. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give me a like. You don't have to subscribe unless you enjoyed it. I'm not gonna force you to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.